What is going on, everybody? I just want to throw a quick video up here, and for those of you who haven't come to this channel before, my name's Chris Albert. I'm the host and founder of Warrior Soul and the host of the Warrior Soul podcast. I said host twice, forgive my language. But what I want to talk about to you today is the fact that a Harvard professor got up on stage in Germany this past week and said that coconut oil is pure poison. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, I'm going to keep this video very short because I just published a podcast on this subject. And if you want a much more in-depth discussion than what I'm going to go into in this video, then you should check out the podcast. I'm going to link it below. And the reason I'm not going to go into everything right now is because I know that you YouTube viewers out there don't like videos that are longer than 6 minutes, and it would get really boring if I started getting into all the scientific stuff. But let me start with this here on this particular subject. For this woman to say that coconut oil is pure poison and that it's part of a new fad in nutrition that she doesn't understand, and that, you know, to be saying something like that, it should raise your eyebrow. Why? Because anytime somebody who claims to be a quote-unquote scientific expert gets on stage and says that any food that's been commonly consumed for a very long time is pure poison, that person's completely BSing you. They're completely hanging their own credibility out to dry, and you should question every single thing that that person says. The idea that coconut oil is part of a new fad in nutrition, that neglects something. That neglects the fact that Polynesian tribes actually subsisted on coconut for a very long time. And studies have shown that some of these tribes got up to 63% of their calories from the saturated fat in coconuts. And those studies also showed that the tribes that ate the most coconut and got their most calories, the most calories from coconut, they actually had very low incidences of heart disease, right? Something's not adding up here. That's not pure poison, right? This isn't a fad. This is something that's been going on for a very, very long time. And in fact, it's only recently in our history that we started consuming less saturated fat. And it was only recently in the history of those Polynesian tribes that they came in contact with the Western diet and the recommendations that scientists or quote-unquote experts like her gave, and when they started following those recommendations, they started getting heart disease. So my question is, how pompous can you be? How full of yourself can you be to get on stage and to, you know, just kind of mask over all this other evidence that suggests that coconut oil might have some benefits to it, and to say that it's pure poison, right? You're falling prey to, you know, just turning your argument into a black and white argument, not a scientific argument, right? The reality is this: there are some benefits to coconut oil, right? And those benefits have been scientifically demonstrated. Coconut oil has been shown to raise levels of good cholesterol, HDL. It's also been shown to raise the particle size of bad cholesterol, LDL. And that's important because when you increase the particle size of LDL, it helps it to clear through the blood vessels much more easily, right? And again, this is something that she probably didn't think about before referencing coconut oil as a poison. She probably also didn't reference studies that talked about MCTs, medium chain triglycerides, some fats that are found in abundance in coconut oil. The fact that medium chain triglycerides have actually been shown to have a negative calorie balance, and that they've actually been demonstrated to help people burn fat, and they've actually been demonstrated to increase energy burning amongst people who consume them up to 20%. She probably didn't reference that at all. She just wanted to make a headline and say coconut oil is pure poison because she knew that everybody was gonna, all the media outlets were gonna post it everywhere and they were gonna scare the crap out of you. She probably also didn't consider the fact that coconut oil contains lauric acid, which is antimicrobial. And that lauric acid, when it's consumed, turns into monolaurin. And monolaurin can actually clear pathogens out of your intestinal tract, basically doing the opposite of what a poison would do. Right? She probably didn't think about that either. right? Now, this isn't to say that coconut oil is like something you should be consuming all the time and that you should be, drinking jars of coconut oil every single day. There are problems with that, right? There are problems with that. Number one, when you're choosing a coconut oil, you want to make sure that you're choosing one that's been cold pressed. Why? Well, because those Polynesian tribes I referenced earlier, they probably weren't consuming synthesized oil, right? They were probably shredding the coconut down, breaking it down and then cold pressing the oil out of it. And when you heat extract oils, those fats in those oils, they can become oxidized, and that can raise levels of inflammation. That can be a problem, right? So you want to look for an extra virgin cold pressed coconut oil, right? Another thing you should think about, right? You probably don't want most of the fats or all of the fats that you're consuming to be medium chain triglycerides. Now, while they can help with fat burning, they also turn to energy very quickly in the bloodstream. They turn to ketones very quickly in the bloodstream. And while that can help you to get into ketosis, if your goal is to burn fat, that gives you a very readily available supply of energy in your bloodstream. And so if you're consuming it all the time, all day long, you're drinking multiple bulletproof coffees with MCT oil or coconut oil in it, or if you're drinking, if you're cooking all your food in coconut oil and you're eating 8 times a day, then, that can keep you from mobilizing your own fat stores for fuel, right? Because your body's preferentially going to choose the energy supply that's easier to access, and that would be the ketones in your bloodstream, right? And you want those ketones to be mobilized from your fat stores. So that's another reference, right? That's another thing that you should be wary of with coconut oil. But to get up on stage, call yourself a scientist, and to say that coconut oil is poison, whoever this person is, and I don't know her name, I don't know much more than this, but she's not a credit to her craft. She is not somebody that I would look to for advice. She is not somebody that I would consider an authority from that point on. So again, if you're interested in the much more in-depth discussion on this, hit the link for the podcast below, along with the scientific references and the worksheet for that episode, in which I reference all the studies that support what I'm saying and that go through this. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for paying us the highest compliment you can, if you can do it, and that's sharing this video with others that you care about. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.